Welcome to Beyond the Audit, the podcast where we go beyond the numbers and explore the latest developments and trends in the world of finance. In today's episode, we'll be diving into the introduction of IFRS 19, a standard poised to revolutionize financial reporting for subsidiaries of listed entities. And joining us today is Justine Combrick, a partner in our quality and risk management with extensive expertise in accounting standards and regulations. Welcome, Justine.
Thank you very much.
To kick us off, could you provide an overview of IFRS 19 and its significance in the realm of financial reporting for subsidiaries?
IFRS 19 is a new standard that hasn't actually been issued yet. It is a standard that is, as you said, poised to change everything because subsidiaries of listed companies now have an option to disclose a whole lot less in their financial statements and not be this big mess of information overload that they have been making. They now can do less disclosures and more appropriate to where they are in a group situation.
And can you elaborate on the challenges faced by subsidiaries under the current financial reporting framework and how IFRS 19 aims to address these challenges?
They usually do a pack that goes up to go into the listed company to do a consolidation. But then they also need to, because of our South African law, they have to prepare separate financial statements. Those financial statements have to be in accordance with a framework. And the two options in South Africa are that they'll be in terms of IFRS, which means they're going to have to issue a set of financials with all the disclosures for an IFRS set, which is pretty substantial. Or they do an IFRS for SME set, which they're allowed to do, but then it's got differences between IFRS and IFRS for SME. So then they almost need to keep two sets to be able to keep track of what the IFRS things are to go up into group. The other option that a lot of other countries do, if they prepare those separate financial statements, is then they have another GAAP that they do it in terms of, I know in France they do the French GAAP. In the UK they've got their own standards as well. And once again, it's a different framework that then needs to be changed to get up to the group IFRS.
So Justine, in terms of eligibility and scope, what are the eligibility criteria for subsidiary to apply IFRS 19, and are there any limitations to its scope?
No, Lou, it's a very narrow scope that's allowed to apply this. It's got to be a subsidiary of a company that consolidates that subsidiary into it. The consolidated financials have to be in terms of IFRS and made publicly available. The other requirement is that the subsidiary may not have public accountability.
And then you mentioned public accountability. Can you explain the concept of public accountability and its relevance to the implication of IFRS 19?
Public accountability talks to if you are accountable to the general public in any way. And the two normal examples is if you've listed your equity shares, your shares on a listing, or your debt, or people have entrusted you with their funds in any format. Usually it's like a bank. They give you the money and they trust you to work with it probably. So those are your examples of your public accountability.
In terms of publication and effective date, when can we expect the publication and effective date of IFRS 19? And is there scope for early adoption?
I'm so glad you asked that question. The standard is expected to be issued in May 2024, so that's fairly soon that it's coming out. We expect that the date of adoption is going to be for years beginning on or after 1 January 2027. And yes, they're allowing for early adoption. So we're expecting quite a few of our clients are going to be applying this as soon as it is issued.
And will IFRS 19 then be treated as a separate framework or a standard within the existing IFRS framework?
IFRS 19 will be a separate standard within the greater IFRS framework. So it's its own standard and not a separate framework. Clients will still be able to sign off the financials as IFRS financial statements.
And then obviously with all new regulations, our listeners are probably wondering about learning resources. How can interested parties learn more about IFRS once it's issued, and what resources will Mazars provide to assist with its implementation?
So our team is fairly on the ball. We will have some guidance out as soon as the standard is issued. We will be issuing guidance. We'll be updating our disclosure checklist for it, and the training on this will be happening between June and August this year in the various offices. For those who want to get in on all the nitty-gritty details already, there is also training available on the ISB's website.
Okay, that's good to know. Given Mazars' expertise and your role in quality and risk management, how do you anticipate IFRS 19 will impact the risk landscape for subsidiaries and the quality of financial reporting within the industry?
I think this can only be a good thing. I'm very excited about the standard because it's going to reduce the amount of audit work that we need to do, particularly on those subsidiaries. Because when we audit, we obviously have to audit every single line on the standards. And now we've got a whole lot less lines. So it's going to reduce the audit fees. It's going to reduce the risk of missing things if they're not there. And luckily, they don't need to be there now. And it's going to make things go a whole lot faster.
Any final thoughts or insights to share about IFRS 19?
Watch this space. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Justine, for sharing your valuable insights. It sounds like an interesting and exciting development in the industry. We look forward to see how Mazars continues to navigate and support clients through this evolving landscape.
Thank you very much.